So, Coach, you guys broke the all-time singles record for a single game for the program, and then you guys tied the hits record. What was working offensively today?
That's really cool, when you think about the history and only doing it 6 times to the plate on offense. I think we're just learning a little bit. We made a couple adjustments from yesterday. I really think most of yesterday had to do with the conditions, to be honest with you. But we had a good BP, pregame batting practice today. Thought we had a good plan. Liked the combo of players, against the pitcher today. That we were able to we got a break in the first play of the game, and then that's what good teams do. They capitalize, and we did. And then I think some contagious hitting. And a lot of guys did a lot of good things. It was great to get a lot of those guys 3 at-bats, and considering it was such a short game, because there's a lot of guys that were in that back half of the game that we think are going to be really good players here.
What went into leading off with Milan today, and what did you see from him?
Yeah, he's been great for the last – we had 12 scrimmages before we played. And he has really improved, and he's been an on-base machine. Great feel for the game. Like, he knows what needs to be done when it needs to be done, and really has improved from a swing and approach standpoint. Know the quality of at bat that you're going to get. Obviously, you want to get guys on base in front of Tommy and Hayden, and so he provided a lot of that today, which was great.
Big day for Brady Neal. What sort of progress have you seen from him?
Yeah, I think he's doing great. I think he's one of our best players, to be honest with you. I've felt that way even last year as a freshman on that team. There's a learning curve, obviously, coming to this level, and the injury kind of took him out of that, and it took him out of about half of the fall. So, we had to be pretty aggressive with some development stuff when we were with, maneuvering. You can only play defense one day, can only hit one day, those types of things. But he's stuck with it. He's got ability, and most importantly, he really believes in himself. And that's why I'm always drawn to want to play him and get him in there, because he has great baseball skill, but he's also a very confident player.
I'm including the fall when not the fall, but the preseason when I'm asking this, but it seems like he's hitting the ball harder too as he gains a considerable amount of strength.
He's stronger. He looks better. There was a point with the injury last year, the weight room had to be modified to make sure he was back to full strength. Coach McMillan and Isaac Trujillo did a really good job with him, and there was some programming stuff and core stabilization that's not maybe the specific term, but there's some things that they had to do then to get back to building the strength. But we've been able to do all of that, and so he's diligent about it. And it's nice to have 3 good at bats, put the game away, and be able to taking rests for him wherever we can is super important.
You don't have to worry about pacing him at all, right?
I don't think so. I think the good part for him is, he's a good hitter. He's a left-handed hitter. So, like yesterday, DH today, caught half the game on. It's such a luxury with Alex, Hayden, and him. We're going to be able to do what we need to do for all 3 of those guys, to be the best player that they can be.
I know the hitting was the story of the day, high score. With VMI having only 5, is it the final score? Only 5. What do you think that says about the pitching rotation that you have and their capabilities?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think back. It was a long game. Javen, that was important, that he came back this year. Really happy to have him back. Missed the fall, same kind of thing, nagging injury thing. So wasn't able to make a ton of progress then, but has been pretty solid, in the spring since we came back. His outings were very much like the outing today. Mostly good, little bits that we need to clean up. So he was good. Cam, he's a special talent. He's going to be a great pitcher here. We just got to keep getting him out there. And then after him was Will. Will's throwing the ball well in the 3 weeks leading up to this. And then Cade struggled throwing strikes for a second, but got in there and minimized the damage. And Aiden Moffitt, real positive for me today. He's got immense potential, and we're going to keep dosing him to get him experience, because he's a guy that could really elevate his role as we go along.
Would you say strikes was the only, throwing strikes consistently was the only real blemish of the day?
Yeah, and I'm for me, that stuff's obvious. For me, we need to figure out how to get them to throw strikes. That's like, yeah, the strike zone's the game, and they know that. Like when they get deep in counts or get in hitters' advantage counts or walk people, they know they need to throw more strikes. So it's important that we set them up to do that, and we're working hard on that. And that's the difference maybe between where the top of the group is and guys that have the same kind of ability to push themselves up into that group. It all comes down to, dominating the strike zone, and we'll help them do that.
And with Javen, did you not expect him to come back? Because you mentioned Elmford.
Well, he got drafted, and the Dodgers, offered him a good amount of money to sign, and way more than the normal 17th round pick. And so I mentioned this with Brady. One thing I appreciate about Javen is he really believes in himself. Like, he's very confident and, really believes. And I agree with him. He has a lot on the table here still. I mean, I know he pitched one good game the year before we got here in the regional. I don't really know much else about that season. He got hurt in the third appearance of my first season here, missed the rest of that, missed most of last year, and came back, but he came back probably faster than anybody I've seen from Tommy John. So I don't think he felt like he was his best at the end of last year. So I credit him a lot for coming back and just believing the best is yet to come here.
Can you talk more about Cam Johnson's performance and how you discussed his performance with him?
Yeah, he's going to be a really good pitcher here. He has been a good pitcher here, and it's, again, a big jump to this level. And, my guess is probably hadn't pitched in front of a crowd of that size, and, just it's a little sped up, But I had 3 guys that pitched in Omaha last year that were also sped up in their first appearance here over the last couple of days. So it's just part of growing up, and we'll help them do that. And I think those types of things are a strength of our coaching staff. And you don't get more talent than that to college, and so we're gonna make sure we get him where he needs to be.
What did you say to him during that first inning where he seemed kind of not settled in yet and kept seeing like his catcher, his teammates kept coming up to him, and then you visited him on the mound?
I just tried to get him reset, and it didn't work for the second inning, but when he came back in, I was like, hey, for 3 hitters in a row, Cam, that went as bad as it probably you could think it could go right. He's like, yeah. And I was like, well, there's 1 run up on the board. So that tells you how good that you are and can be. And so just try to be positive in that regard.
With Mac, we talked to him on Friday, and he mentioned what it was like, being back under you, and kind of seems like a guy that can ignite an offense from
Big
anywhere
time.
in a lineup.
Yeah.
What's that been like, throughout the scrimmage season just so far this weekend?
Yeah, he's been great. I mean, we had a really good, I've referenced this several times, we had a really good preparation for the season, or what would be our spring training. And he was one of the best players, if not the best player of those 3 weeks. I love having him on the team. Like, I'm shocked he's here from a standpoint of feel like he should be in professional baseball. I had a great year as a redshirt freshman or COVID freshman my last year. Had a great year last year as a COVID junior. And normally guys that put up those numbers, move on to professional baseball, especially when they can run, have a little bit of power. But it just didn't work. And to our benefit, he decided to go in the transfer portal, and that was pretty much a no-brainer. It was like, you're losing Gavin Dugas, you're losing Cade Beloso, and you could replace some of that production and dynamic, because he's a spectacular person and fits in very well. And it's pretty easy to see already.
Today was another big day for Stephen, even bigger day for Stephen Milam. Would you say he's really putting a stamp in, trying to be a regular?
He's a really good player. I think he can be, and I won't be surprised when he is. And I kind of look at him like that right now. Again, like Mac, probably one of the 4 or 5 best players of the spring training period. And credit to him for getting better and getting on this thing. I think, again, another guy that believes in himself. So all of our guys have ability that come to play for us. It's that confidence piece that separates the guys that can move up, and he's got it, and he's got aptitude, and just really excited about him, really excited about Jake. To have 2 freshmen, those guys are wheelhouse players for me, like left-handed and can do a lot of things, and really excited that they're going to be a huge part of this year and the 2 years after that.
Is there a side of the plate that you prefer Stephen to hit at, or not really?
No, I think He got hits on both sides today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He homered right-handed the other day, hitting the ball over the field left-handed, so I'm good either way. That has no factor in, how we set the lineup or anything like that, that's a really good quality to be a balanced switch hitter, where you're the same on both sides, and I think he is.
You said the hitting was contagious today, and going back to pitching, with 12 walks, do you almost feel like at some points that was contagious a little bit?
No, not at all. I'd have to go back and see where they are. I mean, Javen, for being a fourth-year college guy, he hasn't pitched very much. Again, I don't know the line on his freshman year, but then it's 3 appearances, no season, 14 innings last year for us. And those were obviously, there was some high leverage in there. He pitched in Omaha. But that's not very much experience. So he's got to get on the mound. And he missed the whole fall, too. He's got to get on the mound. Cam's first time on the mound. Will is an old pitcher who normally throws strikes. Like, I won't think 2 seconds about how many are strikes with Will. Cade's been throwing strikes here these last couple weeks, and really happy that Aiden did throw strikes. So I'm not overly concerned about that, or it looks terrible on a stat sheet, but it's kind of the substance over image thing for me. Like, what do we need to do to go get those guys better?
It seemed like the guys settled in a little bit more after opening day. It's kind of in the books yesterday, the weather.
Yeah, so I don't think we were settled in per se on Friday, and I mean, as much as we address it and talk about it and do some mental skills things to help them with it, some guys did great, and other guys left a little to be desired, and some are talented enough they were able to work their way through it, even if they weren't in that spot. Yesterday was tough. That was a good win. Like, I mean, I don't remember, it's 2 years now and 3 games, a day where the park was like that. I mean, we've had some cold games, but cold and windy. Felt like I was coaching soccer, you know what I mean, for a little bit yesterday, and I don't know anything about soccer.
Javen starts today, obviously. Is he like a real candidate to
Oh, yeah.
start in the weekend?
He's a starting pitcher right now for me. I think that's better for him and his arm. But we're just like the position players. We could do a number of things if we wanted to. We could start all left-handers on the weekend if we wanted to. We could start all right-handers on the weekend if we wanted to. So that's probably, still fluid for now, but I like the fact that he can do that.
And for tomorrow, do you have a set guy?
We don't yet, and I have a grouping of, I think I counted like 9 guys available, and that I feel good about. So, yeah, I need to look at, I know we just played them, but look at Central Arkansas a little bit more about where they're at and who fits at different times and that kind of thing.
Are you surprised at all with how well it seems Jake is?
No. Yeah, I mean, we got some great. This is really good. You guys are asking good questions. I really like the makeup piece of a lot of these guys we're talking about. Like, they're good players, but, like I said, that dude's really confident. He has amazing feel on the field, of things that are happening and going on, way advanced for his age.
Going back to numbers,
Oh, just like, whether it's on the bases, like where the ball's, there's going to be a ball that falls in for sure. He can pick up an extra base. Where the ball needs to go, the game doesn't speed up, where he tries to be a hero. He throws the ball to second base when he needs to. Making good adjustments at the plate, obviously. So just advanced feel for a freshman.
going back to Helmers, I know you were high on him during that spring training period.
Yeah.
You mentioned there's no concern with the control, obviously, but what's his journey been like since you've been here? Because
Yeah.
a lot of star power here. He's the
Yeah.
guy who just keeps plugging.
One of my favorite guys. One of my favorite guys on the team. Great leader. Really cares. We had a kind of a pivotal moment for our team last year. We didn't have a ton of adversity, but the little bit that we hit when we had to recalibrate, I would say, he stepped up in that in a big way and showed how important it was. And it's one of those where you remember being like in the dugout in Omaha and like, it's the ninth inning, we're going to win now, and just kind of looking around, and remember seeing a huge smile on his face, and he's just so invested. He's a guy, when he's not here, you're going to notice he's not here, because the type of person he is.
Just a locker room presence.
Yeah, absolutely. Never ask what's in it for him. It's always what do you need, and there's a path for him to help us too on the mound this year too. So I'm happy about that for him.
I know stealing was kind of VMI's thing last year. You guys were well prepared today. I felt like the ball was there, waiting
Yeah.
for it. You
Yeah.
guys getting the second. Be happy with all.
Oh yeah, our catchers dominated this weekend, and we got another game. And Central Arkansas runs good too, but yeah, it's as good a collective effort defensively from that position that I've ever seen, to be honest with you, considering the circumstances of what the two teams try to do. So, okay, see you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.